Battle of the Year!
I keep wanting to call it Breakin' 2.
That's...
Breakin' 3. Boogaloo-ear? Okay, there's not much to say about this movie, is the problem. It's,
Surprisingly, a movie about breakdancing is ridiculously thin on plot.
B-boying, or b-boying, as I kept calling it in my mind. They b-boyed the shit out of this movie.
Oh, they sure do.
So, Josh Holloway is coaching a breakdancing team.
No, Sawyer from Lost is coaching.
Drunken, melancholy Sawyer from Lost is coerced into coaching a breakdancing team because he used to breakdance like 40 years ago from the way they were talking.
Yeah.
And like even though he knows nothing about the world of b-boying, he has experience as a basketball coach. So he first they give him this team, he's like, that team sucks, I'm gonna make my own team. So he kind of puts together this ragtag team of b-boyers, and kind of he starts at 22 and slowly culls the herd to 13. And then takes them to France.
It's almost like they could have potentially set this up to be some kind of reality show had this been a hit.
It's sponsored by Sony.
And Braun.
Is Braun owned by Sony? Because it seemed like, oh my god, I got a Sony tablet, it does everything. And I got this Braun razor. It's smooth while it shaves.
I don't know specifically if they own each other, but this movie, and I know I've said this on multiple occasions about ridiculous amounts of product placement. This thing was
laughable.
Oh my god! It is one of the most blatant things. It promotes the thing that the movie is based off of by name specifically. It'll get to the very specific nature of that, but by also showing it, during the opening credit roll, it says that it's inspired by the documentary Planet B-Boy, or B-Boy, as some of us are calling it.
It makes me giggle.
And then throughout this movie, I honestly think we've seen the entirety of that documentary at this point. They show the whole fucking thing in this movie. I don't even know why this is a movie and they didn't just bring that to theaters.
It seemed like they probably used an awful lot of footage from that documentary, because a lot of the actual boy championship in France seemed really stock footagey. Because it had your two main teams, was Korea and the Dream Team from the United States, and then random other teams just like crash test dummies and schoolboys, yeah, and never showed up in actual scenes, just footage of them doing their little dance moves. So yeah, I had noticed that it was based on a documentary, but that is an excellent point.
Oh yeah, because at the beginning of it, it mentioned that. I'm like, oh okay, so this is based off a thing. That's weird. But yeah, there's a point. Okay, like Sarah was saying, Josh Holloway is a drunk, and yeah, basically his friend coerces him into taking a job coaching his little league team.
He gives him the trite, heavy-handed speech.
It's like, oh,
I've made my career opening doors, and you've made yours closing them. And drinking is not the path to. I thought I was visiting you in a prison, but you've made a prison of your house.
And the very odd thing of you never see anyone else in his hovel of a apartment, house, condo,
prison of his own making.
Prison. But as dude is walking out after giving him this very lucrative contract and just telling him it's like, to make you a lot of money, fucking sign the thing. He's walking by, and on above his TV is a picture of him and a gal and a little kid. And he's walking by Psh, man, She ain't coming back.
She's never coming back. And did you catch the, like, I thought that, like, she had left him and taken the kid.
And that's why he was a drunken layabout.
It turned out that they, like, died in a car accident.
Yeah, we find out later that through one of several exposition dumps, we just meet his character, and everyone else tells us all about him, so saves on backstory
Oh
time.
yeah, that his like little Frankly with a Y assistant like goes in
Fucking
to talk to
Josh Peck.
the CEO. Is that who that kid was? He
Can't fucking stand him.
He was glossy as shit, and he kind of talked like his tongue was sort of stuck to the roof of his mouth. But
You should really watch ATM. He's so much better in that one.
Is he?
No.
Is that your serious voice? Is that the voice you use when you're completely on the up and up?
Act.
So he goes in to talk to the CEO / friend of Josh Holloway, and it's the only reason for that conversation is
like,
gonna be like, so here's the deal,
man,
on my boy WB.
What's with this guy?
Stands for White Bread / Wonder Bread because he comes into a dance battle as White Bread but leaves as Wonder Bread.
But yeah, he basically proceeds to tell him his whole life story. You know, hell, dude told Josh Holloway his whole life story. Like, man, you used to be something. You used to be driven, and you used to do this.
And then you coached basketball for a while, and now you drink a bunch.
And then it got dark as shit. But no, it's ridiculous the number of, like, these just exposition dumps while Josh Holloway's just sitting there. Mm-hmm. But he reluctantly goes and decides to do this. So he goes to his friend's multinational conglomerate, and kind of a shitty friend that he didn't like throw him a bone before this. I mean, shit's been rough.
He's throwing him a bone now. You're mad that he didn't enable his drunk. This is a stupid thing to argue about. So anyway,
but
he puts together his ragtag team, and it's basically he picks people that hate each other. Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to throw out there real quick with the product placement thing. There's literally a point where he has Josh Peck, who for like the first 20 minutes of this movie, it's a running gag that no one remembers his name, and it's Franklin with a Y. Because you fucking pronounce it different? Why do they need to know how it's spelled?
Plus, you know, I
don't specify my name's Brian with an I. I'm not an asshole.
Harp on his Jewishness, but he mentioned it in pretty much every conversation that he had.
You know, because I'm
Jewish and I have no sense of rhythm. And then like they
took our swag with
our circumcision. The medical procedure, it throws off your balance. So
I forgot that's one of the jobs of a moil is to also remove the swag.
Yeah, circumcision, swag. I don't know where you're cutting off here, but it's.
But he's literally having a conversation with him where he's looking through like these piles of DVDs of like all this like research, you know, because he's treating it like it's a basketball team. Mm-hmm. And he picks up something and he's holding it. He's like, and what is this? And dude grabs it. He's like, it's the new tablet from Sony.
It does everything.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, it's the future. He's like, I mean, like, you know, have you seen like Planet B-Boy? The thing this is based off of? He's like, Planet B-Boy, what's that? He's like, oh, it's only like the best thing about B-Boying ever. It's, oh man, you should totally watch it. It's on Netflix, brings up Netflix. Oh yeah, let me do this thing that the tablet can do to the TV. Swipe, oh now it's up on the fucking screen. And then they proceed to watch it.
Can I mention about the product placement? Considering how many fucking bronze shavers there were in this movie, Josh Holloway needed to shave like the worst way. Because it wasn't even like stubble.
At a point he even has this like bzzz, click.
No, I'm not
sets it back
I'm gonna
down.
Leave this like 15 o'clock shadow that I've got going.
15 o'clock.
15 o'clock. Well, it wasn't like sexy Statham stubble, and it wasn't like Brian Grizzly Adams beard. It was like sort of halfway at exactly that point where it starts looking not on purpose. This movie went into production back in like 2011. Mm-hmm. I say that like it was millennia ago, back in the year 2011. We have a theory about that, but go on.
So the battle of the year 2011 is when they started working on this.
2 Oceans 11. Sorry.
Jesus. And through me with that.
So, yeah, Chris Brown is the second person in this movie, so you kind of have to wonder if that's the reason
Yeah.
they decided not to release it. Especially since he says the words B-girls several times, and his inflection makes it sound like he's saying beat girls.
Man, I love beat girls.
Why am I doing this? Beat girls.
It's not
Beat girls.
It's not good.
Nope.
But yeah, it's.
But yeah, he's got it when he's doing Lost.
Yeah, it's very like that. He looks like he just walked off set. Mm-hmm. Like, here, give me a cleaner shirt to put on. Ugh, it's still not that clean. All right, look sharp.
Look sharp, dumbass. But yeah, he puts together this team of Baboyers, and he's picking them to antagonize each other.
I thought he was picking them based on ridiculous names.
Ostensibly, yeah. We have Rooster, Sniper, Sheboygan, Puxatawny,
Just naming cities now.
Little Adonis. Little Adonis was an actual one.
Poughkeepsie.
Well, you remember all of them. Rooster was Chris Brown, and they had him with kind of like Dennis Rodman bleachy hair.
I thought he was supposed to look like Cisco.
Is that what it was? No, it wasn't. It was a little bit too yellow to be Cisco, because Cisco was more of a platinum blonde. But it was definitely
more of like a Ruby Rod.
Yeah, but shorter and more annoying. So yeah, ostensibly he picks this team to antagonize each other to greatness, but I think it's probably just to form character development through conflict, because we had Chris Brown.
Put some bunny ears on that one.
And his tiny little enemy in the hat, whose name I thought was Poughkeepsie, but I don't think it was.
No, his name was Do Knock.
Do Knock? Is that what it was?
Two separate words.
I don't understand. Oh, you were actually paying attention during the credits.
Yeah, because I heard them saying it the whole movie. I still did not know what his name was. I honestly thought for almost the entire movie that his name was Do Not, not Do Knock. It was like knock on.
Like, do knock. So anyway, they hated each other because they had both dated the same girl at some point, and then there was
bitches be trifling.
And then there was a guy who was a friend of Chris Brown and also a friend of tiny little B-boyer. And then
seriously, dude was like Brad.
He was like this big. He could fit, like when him and Chris Brown were like fronting. He was fronting till about like here on Chris Brown. So and then there was a gay guy and a guy who didn't like gay guy because he was gay. And then
for some reason, like the didn't like him because he was a gay guy.
He didn't like him because he was openly gay, I think was the problem.
Well, he was a military guy. So like, hey, we had a thing back where I'm from. Don't ask, don't tell.
So don't tell and stuff.
Like when he first gets in his face, it's because like dude sits down like, oh great, chicken. It's like, hate this shit. Fucking bounce.
So that was Sniper, but then by the end he beat up some French guy because French guy was trying like pushing little Adonis. So
basically, everything in this movie, we've pretty much established. We both have different sports movies that we're kind of throwing in here, but essentially, a majority of this plot is if you just smush together Remember the Titans and Bad News Bears.
Because, well, it turned out that neither of us have actually seen Bad News Bears. I just know,
I've never finished watching
off of what people tell me, but, like, I know Drunken Coach, and I know, Ragtag Team of Misfits, and I know don't actually win at the end. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Spoilers!
They don't actually
lose!
Win. Yeah, we lose to the Koreans, which is the moral of the story, is that no matter how hard we try, the Koreans will defeat us. But, Moxie. So, I can't remember what my original point was.
Shot down over the Sea of Japan. There were no survivors.
Another man defeated by the Koreans? I don't understand how that's pertinent.
I don't have a lot of Korean references.
Just MASH. Just the one.
I went with MASH. And I feel terrible because they lose to the South Koreans. They're the good ones.
Well done, South Korea. And dude, like, the head of the South Koreans, I kept trying to point it out to you, but it was right as he was going off screen. But he looked exactly like if you took fucking Jim Parsons and made him Korean and taught him how to b-boy. Can you see it now?
Could we just send Jim Parsons to Korea?
Yes, except they can't actually meet in person because the world would explode. They would slightly autistic deadpan at each other.
I feel I should point out again, I just really can't stand him or that show.
Okay. Well, that's why I referenced it, because I guess you didn't like the Koreans because they were doing battle with our beloved Americans. I was rooting for them to win. Well, because, like, I generally speaking don't like sports movies, and this one at least had dancing in it. Like,
it's not sport, it's an art form.
one of my least favorite movies, an ex of mine made me watch way, way back in the day, and it's still like my benchmark for sports movies I can barely sit through, and it is The Rocky of Hockey. Mystery Alaska.
Come on, it's the Rocky of hockey.
And I hate that movie, and I can't remember most of it. I just remember hating it, and I probably would put this one slightly above the Rocky of Hockey, so that's something in its favor.
It wasn't me, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Brian.
I've never seen Mystery Alaska, and I'm not going to.
Creepy ex-boyfriend Rob, but he was into hockey. I think
Shout out!
Shout out to creepy ex-boyfriend Rob! So this movie at least had that going for it, but it wasn't interesting, really. Like, the most interesting part was if you enjoy watching do the breakdance, and, like, I don't know if they were actually following the... Because I think there's probably rules for competitions like that. Like, you have to do a certain amount of aerial moves, and, like, a certain amount of throwy-catchy moves, and a certain amount of intricately combinations.
See, I really don't know, because the whole thing was just so arbitrary. Like, I don't even know, because, like, half of the things that any of the teams were doing looked identical. Like, I don't...
So they had the two random characters narrating what they were doing as they were doing it.
Yes, live from the scene, we had... What, Sway from MTV?
Is that who they were?
Is he even still... I don't
think MTV would cover an event like this. Let alone MTV France.
They covered the shit out of it in the fucking movie.
They're like, oh god, he just pulled a terrifying aerial move. And
oh shit! Oh, the brutal with the elbows!
The Koreans are bar none above par. I can't do sports pattern. But yeah, just basically...
Number one in points.
Number one in points. So it's like just like random screaming things over that.
But yeah, it was like we were kind of...
It was basically...
We were kind of talking about it here a second ago. It was like... They were like a cross between like an actual like rapper's like hype man and like a WWE ringside announcer.
Yeah, then he referenced JR, and yeah, I think that was pertinent.
Because, yeah, they would just, like... They would say the most obvious things with such dedication. Like, there's one point where...
He's taking my chainsaw, and he's using it on me.
There's one point where, during the U.S., which they call themselves the Dream Team.
The Dream Team. Well, because they kept, like, comparing it to basketball, and I think that's a basketball thing.
It was.
Okay.
Good on you. Yeah, there's one point where, like, during their big, like, floor show thing, they take out, bandanas and, like, blindfold themselves and continue to keep going.
Oh, no. Well, that actually... The floor show I thought was actually kind of cool, because it was basically, like... They choreographed it to be, like, music through the eras. So they started off with, like, kind of tails and bow ties attached to their tracksuits and, like, kind of like swing music, and then segued into, like, 80s hip-hop, and then segued into, like, 90s hip-hop, and then they put the bandanas on. And they had, like, this overhead announcement that was like, I'm Italian-American. I'm, African-American. I am Asian-American. And I was really, 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 really hoping for I am gay-American. Because I don't think that guy was properly represented, and it seemed like that was his main attribute as far as this movie was concerned.
Well, I mean, he was going by Little
Adonis.
Adonis, so I'm guessing he was probably like, I'm Greek American.
You think maybe he was Greek? He looked...
I have no idea.
Maybe? He was kind of blondie. Blondie tanny.
As were they all. As were they all. But no, like, as they're going, like, they blindfold each other and like, oh shit, oh, still going, not touching, not touching.
And then they, even though they've never actually danced on this stage before, managed to line up perfectly across the U of it.
But like,
which took me completely out of the movie.
One of the announcers was like, Oh shit! They can't even see it. They're still going. Perfect unity.
Which, okay, we were talking pretty loudly through this. When we first sat down,
because there were a lot of us.
We were the only people in this theater, and then eventually these girls walked in. Which the movie was delayed, and I have to think that they waited until those girls showed up so they could start the movie.
What happened?
But during that part where oh shit, he put on his blindfolds, the entire theater burst into laughter. All five of us.
Five of us that were in there. But no, what happened was apparently there was supposed to be a 2D and a 3D screening, and the 2D projector broke. No. So we watched it in 3D.
Can I say that I wish that we could have watched it in 2D? Because, like, when you, just in terms of, like, 3D stuff, when you watch something going by really fast, the 3D kind of shift of it, you lose the movement, because basically it lets less so a leg moving, and more so a really, really fast see-through leg moving, you know? So
it was a conversion.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I didn't know that beforehand, but I mean, there's credits for the conversion team.
Uh-huh.
So.
But yeah,
if
you're going to watch it in 2D.
But yeah, they canceled the 2D screening, so it was just the 3D we went to. And we went into the theater, and we were a couple minutes behind showtime when we got in there. And nothing was happening. It was on like the please silence your phone screen.
Whenever the screen freezes, it seems to be on that screen.
So I actually had to be the guy who went out to...
We were actually debating because you weren't in the room when it froze, and we were like, we just send Brian, it'll be the funniest.
Yeah, I had to go out there.
Hey guys, you start a movie? Oh yeah, which movie is it? That was my Brian Eeyore sigh. I hope you enjoyed it.
It was lovely. But yeah, I had to be the one to go out there and be like, hey, we're in Battle of the Year, and it's been a few minutes, and nothing is happening. And it was that little guy that works in there, that smallest little usher I've ever seen. Nice guy, though.
Yeah.
In case he watches.
Big up, small usher.
Yeah. And, yeah, he kind of, like, followed me back over there, and he's like, is it stuck on the silence your phone thing? I'm like, yeah. And so he was radioing for backup, and I went back in, and we sat down, and it was probably another, like, 5 minutes or so, and we saw, like, the manager walk in, and he was talking to somebody on the walkie-talkie, and actually mentioned, like, what? No, this isn't even supposed to be on the schedule for tonight. So they didn't even plan on that. They
knew he was coming. They knew we had to reschedule from yesterday.
That one screen, the 2D screening, went down, so they had to turn on the 3D one. But I don't think anyone ever actually thought it through past that. So, due to saying that loudly, and then turns like, it's like, what? It's not even supposed to be scheduled. Folks, we'll have it on in just a second. Small glitch. You know how these things go, technology. And then walks off. I'm like, technology fucking nothing. You guys didn't plan on this happening. Just say, like, oops, we forgot. Sorry, let me go upstairs and hit the button real quick.
Brian expects a certain degree of realness in his movie theater experience.
I'm sorry, he was 10 feet away from us and we could hear him.
Maybe this part was for your benefit, so that you'd know that the reason it was messing up was because I got nothing. It was one of the more exciting points in the evening. But, okay, final thoughts?
I feel so bad just skipping straight to that, but I mean, there's...
Well, what else we got? We got a lady choreographer who was, I don't know if they, like, cut the romantic thing with her and Josh Holloway, but that's pretty much the only reason she was there.
It seemed like they were setting up...
Because they had, like, dinner al fresco in France, and he was all, like, hey, coiffed and wearing a turtleneck.
Stop worrying. I mean, look at where we are.
We're in France.
We're in France.
Tink wine glasses, and then that's the last we saw of it.
It's like, should you really be giving him wine? I mean, it's pretty much established. Everyone knows he is an alcoholic.
He never actually quit drinking in the movie, though. Like, at one point he was gonna take a sip from his flask, but then decided not to. But I don't think that necessarily means no drinks ever again. Because it was obvious from the beginning of the movie that he was to that point in his alcoholic career that if he were to quit cold turkey, he might die. So he had his flask, and his friend was like, "Hey, buddy, just coffee, right?" He's like, "Yep, my flask's over here. You know me."
Well, that was a really weird scene, too, because his friend was really pissy to him about that. It's like he's literally sitting there, like, the last time we saw him, he was just, like, clutching a bottle of gin.
Mm-hmm. Which, gin? Really? Anyway.
But, yeah, he gives him the whole, like, he sees, like, his Starbucks cup or whatever, and it's like, yeah, just coffee in that, right? He's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just coffee. Clink, clink, clink. Got the good stuff down here. And his friend just suddenly is like...
Like, what do you expect?
And just leaves. And and he's trying to tell him, like, look, man, I can't just quit overnight. That's not how it works. He's like... Just get your head straight, and leaves. I'm like, fuck you! Some fucking friend that guy was. Also, I feel I should point out, at several points during this movie, they make reference to the fact that Josh Holloway used to used to break dance, used to do all that shit.
You didn't actually expect him to break dance, did you?
I expected him to at least,
bring in, like, a Holloway-ish stunt double to do, like, a couple head spins.
Not even that. I expected him to at least, like, at once, like, look like he was, like, like, into the music or something like that, and kind of, like...
I'm sure that if he was capable of that as an actor, they would have had him do it. They had him running.
No, I am literally talking just this here, like, all right, guys, yeah. All right. Just fucking move. He's stock still the entire movie.
Maybe he's circumcised. Bam! No? Alright, well, I was proud of it. That one was for me. But yeah, the little choreographer girl, she was like kind of like, yeah, guys, like this, and then he kind of like twisted her leg up, and she's never actually break danced, but obviously had learned some aspects of breakdancing for the role, but I don't think Josh Holloway did at all.
Oh, no. It was interesting, though. Her character, the choreographer, she comes in like maybe over halfway through the movie.
Uh-huh.
And they have a tremendous problem with having her as the choreographer because
she's distracting on account of her vagina.
Yeah. And, like, Josh Holloway seems like honestly kind of mad at first whenever Franklin
with a Y.
With a Y.
Made of marzipan.
Brings her in. He's like, oh yeah, I got the choreographer.
I'm like, hello, my name is Stacy. He's like,
I feel I should also mention Josh Peck is incredibly creepy.
He is really, really... Well, I think it's partially his baby face on top of, like, this weird hulking frame. And, like,
well, I think he's a Disney kid. I think he used to be, like... I think that show that he used to be on, I think he was, like, the fat kid.
Oh, okay. So maybe he, like, overdid it?
I think he's got, like, that overcompensating thing going on.
Okay.
I don't actually know if he was the fat kid. He looks like he would have been a
He does look
kid.
like one of those people that was an adorable kid and then grew into kind of a creepily baby face. You know what I mean?
But, yeah, it's creepy because every time he talks to Josh Holloway, he's always like nervous, smiling, like it's like he's like about to ask him out on a date.
That was that weird exchange where he had like bought himself a little whistle and he's all damn proud of it. Holloway's like, give me the whistle. He's like, no, but I got my own whistle. He's like, give me the whistle. He's like, what if I say no? Because like I got my give me the whistle. No, give me the whistle. Did that creep you out? Because I found it kind of like weirdly menacing.
Well, like halfway through their training thing, if you notice, he starts dressing like him.
I didn't notice that, no. But that makes sense.
Essentially, if you're going by like the Remember the Titans, Bad News Bears thing, essentially his character is the little girl from Remember the Titans.
Okay.
But no, it's really weird. Like, every single scene he's in, he's like got like this weird, like,
kind of pointless
serial killer smile going. Like, he's either gonna ask him out or possibly like let him know as he starts like tipping around that, oh yeah, I drugged your coffee. And then he, the next thing he sees is him waking up and he doesn't have fucking feet.
He wakes up in a wedding dress.
Wakes up in fucking Vice Squad.
He wakes up in B-Boy or Die. Okay, there were two dudes, like the two hype guys, and they had, what was the first shirt? The one with like the giant splash? Battle of the Year, which I want that shirt, and B-Boy or Die, in just giant block letters. Both of those shirts, I want those shirts. I don't know why.
Oh, there was one guy I wanted his shirt. It just says "I am hip hop." That was it.
You are hip hop. You should have that shirt.
I was like, oh shit! They invited hip hop to the breaking.
It's okay, you guys. Hip hop made it.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, they had that whole big speech at the beginning. It was like, b-boying isn't cool anymore. The kids are like, b-boying, that's for old grandpas.
It was so weird. It's like, no one likes breakdancing. It's just not cool anymore.
No, after breakdancing's not cool, what's next? Hip-hop isn't cool, and then where will we be?
Apparently this company lives, breathes, and dies
I don't know
by
what they sell.
only
I guess they
selling
sell hip-hop?
product to breakdancers.
Yes. Except that they didn't kid out their own breakdancers. It was like, because Franklin with the Y's brother's girlfriend's sister's mistress had hookups with like Puma, so they got all Puma gear. Oh, you wearing your Pumas?
I know him too.
You.
Had the hardest time getting this off.
It was important for you to see that.
No, but it was ridiculous. Like, it's like, oh shit, got a lot of kicks in here. Like, oh yeah, Pumas.
So
I kept waiting for that.
it was pretty creepy, and like, there were points where
Put my fucking shoe back on. It's ridiculous.
you opened your door and I just like on knee-jerk reflex, oh, the lights must be off.
Bye. Well, we're done here.
But yeah, it was a very, very silly movie, and of course the Koreans were gonna win. And it was funny that you called Rooster Cogburn breaking his leg.
Oh yeah, because it's like in Remember the Titans, that one kid gets in a car wreck before the big game.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
I'm sorry, I haven't seen that movie. But like, he was sitting next to me, he's like, and then he breaks his leg. They're like, hey, check out this new movie did. Flip, 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 attack.
they finally seem like they've nailed
Brian,
this.
you put the whammy on him.
I did.
The movie would have ended differently if it weren't for you.
This still wouldn't have won.
Prove me wrong.
They finally seem like they've nailed everything, and they're going to the big competition tomorrow.
They had just cut Lothario or whatever his name was.
Bambino.
How do you remember this crap?
I don't know.
So yeah.
And they invited in some guy who they're making like, oh shit, I used to watch like you breaking back when I was like
Michael Jordan of B-boying. So they all like give him hugs, and then Rooster and his bestie best
Chris
friend.
Brown is like, it's like, oh shit, now is when we break out our new untested super move. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Flip into the air and land on our ankles.
Like,
sure to beat the Koreans.
Well, that's writing his ass out of the movie.
It was like magic.
It's like,
but yeah, I called the Koreans.
Broken-legged magic.
I called the Koreans winning because honestly, they weren't better than the Koreans. I mean, I liked their thingy, but the Koreans brought it, Brian.
Turn up the floorboards. Devastating aerial combo attack.
Oh shit! And they kept like landing their moves and then just like double deuce.
Yeah, like
That was like their signature move.
dunk. And we slide away.
Oh no, my crotch is sliding away from you. Or like they'd land like their crotch in the foreground and like tap tap.
Like that's for you.
They're like
baby.
weirdly sexual, these beboying moves. Oh, I tried to talk Brian into recording a little bit of footage of us attempting to beboy outside, and he abstained. So if you want to yell at him, do so in the comment section below, because he is the best dancer I have ever met. So yeah, bitch him out, because he's a killjoy.
You sound like it's like they're gonna like. It's like it's gonna be like a choose now if he dances or not.
I figure if we get a petition going, then we can do like a follow-up video of just you doing the, I don't know, whatever that meh, trying to spin on your head. Whatever that move was where they flip their legs up and then like hop on their hands. That seemed doable.
Yes.
A little bit of moxie. Final thoughts, Brian.
God damn it. Alright, so I know at some point I'm gonna end up having to fucking dance now. Assholes.
Cha-ching. They haven't even done anything yet. It's all me.
I was pointing at you.
Oh, God, they can't see the monitor though, so okay. This guy right here. If you dance, I'll dance. I get this sweet like Liza Minnelli cabaret move that I can break out. I just need to go and grab a folding chair.
So final thoughts. This movie is honestly about as relevant as it would have been 2 years ago. I remember seeing trailers for this a long fucking time ago. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to see it then. I didn't want to see it now. This is literally the third time I've been asked to see this movie.
Uh-huh.
And the first time was literally Brad texting me saying, "Hey, buddy, I am so sorry, but could you go watch Battle of the Year?"
I like that you're the person that's on tap for a movie like this.
Yeah, apparently dancing movies are mine now. Dancing movies,
Because they're the greatest
black
dancer. By
movies,
Sister Chic.
and shitty horror films.
Uh-huh. I get book movies and ones I call dibs on. Which, speaking of which, we got a new trailer for Ender's Game, which was longer but still had hardly any footage from Battle School, which I found very ominous. Because Battle School is like 9/10 of the freaking book, and it's the previews is all like stuff exploding in space, which not really doesn't hardly even come up. I don't want to ruin anything, but like it's a very small part of the book. You know, it's mostly Ender going through school.
I don't really think you
like,
have to worry about spoilers. I mean, Ender's Game was written in, what, the 70s?
Well, yeah, but some people don't read books. And I understand that, but like, from your perspective, watching that preview, have you read the book?
I have read up until, like, a little bit into Battle School.
Okay,
like
so...
him, like, playing around with it, like, and now I'm, like, in a giant, and I'm going into his nose, and there's a field of flowers, and the trees, and hills, and mountains, and shit.
Oh, so you got past the giant, then?
I think so.
Okay, so a little more than halfway, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But from that preview, you wouldn't think
that probably makes no fucking sense.
It makes sense if you read the book. But, like, again, that video game, Ender's Game, if you will. Well, one of Ender's games. Again, no presence in the preview. And they show, like, the no gravity room a couple times, just like him bouncing off the walls. But for the most part, yeah, it's just stuff exploding in space.
Well, he's off the wall. He's off the wall, he's off the case.
He's off the chain, he's off the case. He's loose cannon. But, like, it still looks good.
He's the best damn cop we got.
I'm still excited because I do really like that book, but I'm getting more and more wary as time goes on. We did get a lot of the black movie previews. We got that one, Best Man's Holiday Christmas Extravaganza.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, it looked pretty funny. I probably won't get tapped for that one. It'll probably be you and Irving, but...
Oh, I'm sure I'll probably be at fucking Medea's Christmas instead. Unless
So
they're
maybe I'll go see it.
unless
It does
they're
look-
opposite weekends.
It's got Taye Diggs, I think. It's got
Taye Diggs, Regina Hall,
Michael
Harold Perrineau,
Michael from Lost.
Michael from Lost, Morris Chestnut, Terrence Howard.
Yeah, doing like that sweet dance with the shiny coat. Yeah, it looks pretty funny.
White guy
Yeah, it's a white guy dating black girl.
to
Ooh,
appeal
the
to my
hijinks.
demographic. White guys, not white guys dating black girls. Lady's Hispanic. She's not black.
But anyway,
Well, she's off-screen
I wanted to-
Letty.
I
Most of these people haven't seen her.
just so you know, she's not black. Brian feels it's important for you to know.
Well, the way I said, like, oh, it appeals to my demographic, you know, white guys dating black women.
How is that a demographic? Like selling products to that specifically?
There's a demographic for everything.
As I always
White female, 18 to 35.
I enjoy the mixed couple of white guy with the black girl just because it doesn't seem to be present in a lot of popular culture, you know? Like it doesn't get represented.
Well, I should say it's nice to see because for once when it is represented, it doesn't seem like the white guy. I mean, they make a couple digs at him, but it doesn't seem like the fact that he's white is the joke.
Yeah, well, they're kind of making fun of his what, like, hi, my name is Steven, I'm from New Hampshire, I enjoy chocolate women, and that's about it.
But yeah, like it doesn't seem like it's just like, and maybe it is. Fuck, I don't know. But at least it doesn't seem like the whole point of him being in there is like let's make fun of this fucking guy because he's white.
Yeah, he's not like the punchline. He's just another character.
Well, the token white character.
Yeah. But we also got that's all singing, all dancing movie, which looked really good. Black Nativity.
Black Nativity.
Yeah, that looked gorgeous. I'm gonna try to go to that one because I do love a musical, and all the songs. It's got Mary J. Blige in it. It's got
As,
Jennifer
like,
Hudson.
Oh, weird angel. That was weird.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with her hair, but like it kind of weirdly suited her. They like bleached her to the nines, so it was basically white. And there was a scene where she was like at the front of a church with like wings, but it's a musical, so they're allowed to go a little bit artsy with it.
Yeah. Forrest Whitaker was in that one.
Yeah, it's about this kid who got in a little fight and his mom got scared, so he had to go live in Chicago. No, that one was for me too then.
I'm pretty sure that was New York.
No, I thought they sent him to Chicago.
I have no idea.
It was definitely like that. He was like, it was definitely a big city. But basically, yeah, he had to go live with like his grandparents or his aunt and his uncle, we'd never met, and then everyone was singing.
But essentially, like at the beginning there, I'm like, this is just a really depressing remake of Fresh Prince. Like this is like the gritty reboot we never thought about.
Yeah, not gonna give me anything, but turns out you were thinking the exact same thing.
What else am I supposed to think?
But
Like, oh man, we're having problems. I'm gonna go send you with these, live with these rich relatives of ours that you didn't know we had. I'll stay back though. You just go have fun.
do 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 do.
That was the spinning chair.
Thank you. Well, I didn't. Never mind.
What else did we get?
I don't remember. We got another science fiction one, didn't we? 'Cause I thought it was weirdly out of place right after Black Nativity.
RoboCop.
That's what it was. Okay, can I bitch for a second? Because I bitched last time about the RoboCop preview.
Floor's yours.
Last time I didn't even notice this because I was so mad about the fact that he's got his face and his stupid human hand. And but where's his lady sidekick? Like his lady cop partner? I didn't see sign one of her in that preview. If she's not there and all we have lady-wise is his wife, I'm gonna be a little torqued. Thoughts?
Why is...
Because lady cop partner, whose name suddenly escapes me, Officer...
Lewis.
Yes, thank you. Shut up in your face. She was an interesting character. She wasn't there to be a romantic interest. She was just a lady cop who was his partner, and they fought crime together. And if she's been just eliminated from this, and all we have to represent, the women's demographic is this crying mother, you don't think that's a little unbalanced? You don't care. It doesn't represent your white man dating black women demographic.
It doesn't play into
There's
me.
no black women at all.
It doesn't play into my demographic. White guys who wake up and find out that they're mostly robots. I should point out that I'm not mostly robots. I feel I should put that
very
black
important
robots.
That Brian is not mostly robot. But like there was a Cracked article the other day, and they mentioned that, and that's what drew it to my attention. I don't want to pretend like I made this up off the top of my head, but they mentioned that.
Everyone else steals directly from Cracked. Why don't we?
Well, no, I'm not. I want to cite my sources.
We're not you, Daily Mail.
You tell them, Brian. But yeah, they mentioned that, and they mentioned the people hand, and the people hand doesn't bother me as much as the lack of the lady partner.
See, my problem with the people hand, though, is what if he rolls over or falls?
Like,
his body now weighs like
that seems maybe it's like
1,000
some
pounds.
sort of ultralight carbon alloy. I got nothing science wise.
I mean, it just seems
maybe
like that would
it's got
be
like
really...
an adamantium skeleton in it.
It's like, oh, let me get my wallet. God!
Because like,
why does it still have feeling to it?
Does he still have like the pop-out gun holsters at least?
It seemed like.
But like the original RoboCop was like it wasn't his actual head. It was like a face stretched over a robot skeleton. So maybe they just made like a skin glove for his robot hand.
I don't think that it was
so
just...
that he could like pet kittens with it and like shake babies' hands.
I don't think that it was just his face stretched over it.
I
like
thought it was. Like it was kind of
part
just like
of his
tacked
body
on.
in there. No, it was like tacked on because where else was he just gonna let it like flap loose?
Well, exactly. It was his face over like robot eyes and a robot skeleton. I thought.
Thoughts and comments.
Yeah, help me out here because I could be wrong. I haven't seen the movie nearly as much as like say Adam has. But it's just like I'm not, again, since I haven't seen it as much, I don't feel in a position to get livid about it, but I'm definitely not happy.
I am still perfectly fine with the concept of it so far. I mean, that's not to say like with everything, like that's not to say that it's gonna be good. I might not even like it when it actually gets here, but at least I am fine with how they're handling the idea of it being a remake so far, because they aren't just making the same movie over, it seems like. Mm-hmm. Like, they're actually trying different things. Yeah, not everyone's going to be happy about all of it. I get that. I fucking get that. But I'm willing to give it a shot. Like I say, at least it looks like they're trying something different. Mm-hmm. Like, the odd number of people that I've had bitch at me because it's like, oh, really? It's RoboCop, but it's not Peter Weller and he doesn't look the same? Why the fuck would it? It's a remake. Like, oh, yeah, let's have all the same people in it and film it the same way and use the same story and just watch the original. Like, everybody was bitching like, oh, the suit's all skinny and black now. It doesn't look anything like RoboCop. He shouldn't. Go fuck yourselves.
Kind of looks like the Krakagar is who he looks like.
He's your secret scary friend.
He is my secret
Well, no, like,
scary
I like
friend.
how there's actually like a little scene where it shows them like looking through like different ideas for RoboCop. Like, there's like that one that kind of shows them looking at that looks mostly like the original, and it looks like they do put him in several different bodies throughout the course of the movie. But yeah, like it shows
so
like
they can sell more action figures.
It shows like one. They didn't stop him before.
Just like tactical RoboCop and Space Marine RoboCop and
Batman is in one
undersea diver RoboCop.
Batman is in one costume in each of those movies, and there's like 50 action figures of varying colors and weird like grappling hook abilities. But no, like I like how they show like an idea that looks like the original RoboCop design. And actually mention the fact, like, no, he looks too fucking big. Can you make it any smaller. Like, I don't know, the size of a person and not a Buick. Like, that was one thing I always did have kind of a problem with RoboCop, is he's so goddamn huge. Mm-hmm. Like, he pulls up in a Ford Taurus, and then a Ford Taurus gets out and shoots bad guys.
Uh-huh. I understand where you're coming from in the sense of, like, moving the concept forward rather than dwelling on the original points that they made. But I think that if you change something too much, it becomes less of a remake and more like wandering into, like, homage territory.
That's why I like thinking it's more of a reimagining.
Uh-huh.
It's a different take on source material.
Which is fine, but they're, you know...
Like, just because it's a remake doesn't have to have, like, you know, if the bad guy in it's not Clarence Boddicker, I'm not gonna cry.
Mm-hmm. So,
I'm not gonna get fucking mad about it. That was just not a good movie.
Uh-huh. So this, you judge it on its merits, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot. Like these trailers at least seem promising to me. Like the Evil Dead ones, even the trailers, I wasn't really that into.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't catch me that they were doing anything good. They were just going for over the top. And I watched the movie, and guess what they went for? Over the top.
For my part, again, I'm not, like, angry or anything, but it seems like you say, you know, your job is to watch, like, the black movies and the terrible horror movies. My job is to get mad when stuff is sexist. And boy, that lady spends... I'm stealing from that Cracked article again, but, like, them bringing it up made me notice it, you know? She spends most of the preview either crying or cooking. And his other lady partner isn't there. So maybe they're gonna prove me wrong, but I don't feel very well represented. As a white man dating black women. I could date a black RoboCop. He's all skinny now.
Oh, so you want to date him now that he's in shape and black?
Yes!
You didn't want to date...
dapper. Put him in, like, the shiny coat and make him do, like, the 90s groove dance. I'm so sad.
So you weren't much for him when he was a white guy that looked like a Frigidaire?
Not so much. Well, I don't find Peter Sellers? Peter Weller attractive. Is Peter Sellers an actual person?
Yes.
Okay.
Dr. Strangelove.
Ah, okay. That makes it feel better. Gotcha. Yeah, Peter Weller, I don't find him that attractive. He's got kind of a weird face. I
found him so dreamy in Buckaroo Banzai.
You love that movie. I couldn't fucking stand it. I'm so sorry, but I couldn't. It was not good. So you can get mad at me in the comments too, because I know that's like a fan darling, but I'm sorry. I couldn't stand it.
We've pretty much run entirely.
I've been playing Saints Row 2. I could be at home playing Saints Row 2 right now. I made a guy, his name is Steven Tan, and he's my favorite video game character of all time now. He's this tiny, willowy Asian man who likes wearing women's clothing, but doesn't let that define him as a person. Today I stun gun to death a barbershop quartet. That's what I could be doing instead of watching Breakin' 3 Boogaloo Ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go do something else.
Okay. Bye!